This is part 2 of Crack the Code, and we're going to look at their superhero, Superman, and what can we find coded right before our eyes. I went to newsarama.com, and they're going to tell us 10 things that you probably didn't know about Superman. Now, number 1, he is one of the most famous characters in fiction and has been in continuous publication since his first story in Action Comics number 1, released in 1938. 1 plus 9 equals 10, which is 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 8 is 12. 8 plus 4 is 12. 1 plus 2 is 3. Oh my gosh. Right there in plain sight, a code. Even if you've never read a comic, many folks know the basics. And I am not an avid knower of all concerning Superman, but I am aware of the purpose of his existence. Now it sees and says right here that he was born on Krypton. Baby Kal-El, that is very significant, was sent to Earth to avoid his planet's destruction, was raised in the American Midwest as Clark Kent. The letter CK, very important. And he grew to become the superhero called Superman. But other details have been the subject of change as DC has periodically revised Superman's history and origins to modernize the character. Static, perhaps? Why is it... Okay, I'll give you this. Anything that is real does not tarnish. You may put it in different scenarios and it may have an effect on it, but it does not change. That's how you know something is real. Why is it necessary to modernize this character? Why are specifics being changed? That's the things that we should pay attention to. Now here it says, now he's getting yet another makeover. As in the whole DC Comics superhero universe, starting this week, DC is replacing its mini superhero series with 52 brand new titles, all starting with issue number 1. So in celebration of Kal-El's previous history and the new history yet to come, here are some fun facts about the famous man of tomorrow. Let's see what they have to say. Now I have to say this, I also may know in another video, I don't even know if I posted it here, that back in the 70s and 80s, Rick James used to have a habit of saying L7 square. Now if you put L and 7 together, it makes a box. Whenever you see L, and this was taught to me by someone who's becoming to be very important to me, that it's a signification of creating a containment, a box. And if I could get you to be on the frequency that I am, if you've ever watched Hellraiser, there is a box that is synonymous with the movie. I would give you that box is a symbol of what is happening to many of us in this existence. We're being placed in a containment, and part of our mission here is to break that box. You may hear me say, Mary and Tally created me. I was born and then I broke the box. Now, it's amazing that I came up with that about 10 years ago, and it was in my spirit, and I began to attach it to my social media sites. And it's taken me 7 years to understand as to why. That's amazing. Let's see what it has to say. Okay, this is just little tidbits, but one thing I want you to understand is the fact that these people in this article indicated that there were going to be changes concerning Superman. Now, if you're paying attention and you've seen the prelude and you've seen part 1 and now you're here, I keep noticing, make notice of static. Either one of you under the sound of my voice, Your existence that you're aware of before you came into this physical form of a human was in utero, was in a dark space, was in a space that was voided of internal light. You were there for the months that you were incubated until you were viable enough to live outside of the womb. And that is very significant. And as soon as you reach your gestation fulfillment and you come into this realm, you're inundated with light from the sun, artificial lights where you were born, shocking you from that peaceful, warm, and place that allowed you to grow and develop and be ready to come out. And in all the years that you exist here, that they equate to time, you're conditioned by movies, stories that you read, even the shares that other people exchange, to be afraid of the dark. Why is that? I myself, I love just operating in the dark. In my own personal home, I navigate at night with no lights. People who visit me have to adjust, and because I'm hospitable, I will allow myself to use artificial light. But if I'm by myself, I'm going to navigate with no lights, and that's what I feel most comfortable with. When I sleep, I want it to be completely silent and completely dark. It's most comfortable to me, and I understand that my sleep state is where I get a clear up of what I missed when I was awake. They're termed memory. Some even say remembrances. And I like using that. So that's not something that I came up with. There, your dream state, you're getting remembrances. Now, if you're one who's conditioned to go to sleep with music on, with lights on, with the TV on, you're having static interfere what it is that you're to get in these remembrances. And a lot of times I have unctioned people, just go to sleep in a dark room where it's quiet by yourself. And typically the response I get, I'm not going to do that. But why not? Isn't that where you incubated before you came into this realm? It's an indicator. It's a code to show you of the model and what you're supposed to fashion here, in contrary to what the world system and the agendas in this realm are teaching you and guiding you. Darkness and being comfortable in the dark and embracing dark equally as you do light will create a balance and will allow you to put away the static so that you can hear and be able to remember what it is that you were holding before you even came in this realm. Can any of you, under the sound of my voice, say where your existence was before your mother and your father formed you? If you cannot explain that and explain what you were doing, it would behoove me as to why you wouldn't take this information and at least ponder it. Don't get sidetracked and distracted by the static. This reality runs on an engine that needs to be fueled by your existence. But you have a purpose, and it's not to race against anyone else. You're a component to this existence. These comic strips give codes, but even in their codes, they're distracting you with the colors, with their numbers. Here we go, 3 again. That is the number for the basis of what it is that they build upon here. It's a distraction. Yet still in all of this concept, this super being that you yourself are, that you don't even remember you are. But because you see this on a screen and it sparks something in your DNA, you get distracted by their agenda and you don't realize that you yourself or an existence that is similar to Superman.